It's 4:30 a.m. on Sunday, December 14th, 2003. And Ala Moana Boulevard is already teeming with people, spilling over onto the sidewalks and into the park.
T-minus 40 minutes.
This is no ordinary day in Honolulu, Hawaii. Just 30 minutes from now, more than 22,000 runners will start coursing through the avenues, boulevards, and streets of this city with one goal in mind: finishing the 31st annual Honolulu Marathon. From the start, attempting to run 26.2 miles may seem like madness. But when you look into the faces of the people assembled here, you see confidence and determination. These are fit and focused athletes, eager to take on the challenge. Honolulu is known as the People's Marathon for its diversity and spirit of aloha. Entrants this year represent more than 40 countries, with runners from Japan accounting for 60%. Running a marathon can be a life-transforming experience. It's about saying, if I can do this, I can do anything. For many, this will be their first marathon, a definitive milestone. Running is not easy. It takes desire, dedication, and discipline, uncommon traits in these days of luxury and leisure. So it is with great respect that we honor and celebrate the people gathered here today. Aloha, and welcome to the 2003 Honolulu Marathon. The Honolulu Marathon attracts some of the best marathoners in the world. Wearing race number 1, Barak Hussein of Kenya, a 3-time winner and returning men's champion. Fellow Kenyan Jimmy Mwindi, wearing number 3, hopes to regain the title he's held twice. Russian Albina Ivanova, wearing number 2, is back again and favored to win her first Honolulu Marathon. Number 7, Aloha Ivanova, a fellow Russian, is another serious competitor. Eri Hayakawa of Japan, wearing number 10, is also a threat to win the women's race. Some of the fastest marathoners are those in wheelchairs. Being physically challenged is a matter of perspective for these athletes. Remarkably, most of these athletes will complete the course in less than 2 hours. As the official start approaches, runners continue to loosen up and stretch out. Everyone seems to have their own special way of getting ready. Spectators have lined up along Ala Moana Boulevard to watch the pre-dawn start. Anticipation is running high as the final minutes count down toward the start. The 2003 Honolulu Marathon is underway at 5 a.m. as the starter's pistol triggers an explosion of fireworks overhead. Both sides of Ala Moana Boulevard come alive as the masses of runners finally begin putting the pavement behind them. Runners rejoice as they cross the starting line and begin the long-awaited run through paradise. Fireworks continue to burst in the sky above Ala Moana Beach Park as thousands run along the path by the sea. Incredibly, the leaders will pass the 10-kilometer mark before the final runner crosses the starting line. Kenya's Peter Tanui is the rabbit. He leads the men's pack quickly away toward downtown Honolulu. The early pace is strong and steady as the men put their finely tuned bodies in cruise control. Number 19, Katie McGregor of Minneapolis takes the lead as the women's pace setter. Russia's Albina Ivanova and Japan's Eri Hayakawa start out running shoulder to shoulder in a loose and mixed pack. The men's lead pack heads into the heart of downtown Honolulu, passing along the waterfront. Near Aloha Tower, the course turns right on Nu'uanu Avenue and then quickly loops back along King Street through the business and government districts. Barak Hussein and Jimmy Mwindi, the 2 perennial champions, are matching each other stride for stride. Running along Kapiolani Boulevard, Barak and Jimmy are joined in the pack by fellow Africans Philip Tanui, number 20, Wilson Chepkwani, number 14, David Matua, number 6, and Dawit Terfa, number 11. Katie McGregor continues to set a steady pace for Albina Ivanova, who has begun to assert herself. A determined Eri Hayakawa is shadowing the leaders through downtown. Further back, Aloha Ivanova and Olga Romanova turn onto Nu'uanu Avenue in pursuit of the leaders. Passing beneath the city's office towers, the 2 Russian women exhibit a comfortable stride, conserving energy for the many miles to come. Aloha Tower is one of Honolulu's most distinctive landmarks. The clock reads 5:20 a.m. as the runners pass by the Seaport Terminal and Harborfront Market. The dark and lonely streets of Honolulu come alive as an army of runners begins to invade the downtown area. City Hall is decorated with brightly colored lights and festive holiday displays for the annual Honolulu City Light celebration. Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus flash runners a shaka of Hawaiian cheer as they pass by along King Street. Discarded water cups cluttered the street where runners grab drinks from aid station volunteers. Near Ala Moana, Jimmy Mawindi closes the gap on Tanui, perhaps urging the rabbit to pick up the pace. Here in town, the wind is not much of a factor, so the pack remains loose and open. Barak Hussein is looking strong as he leads the men into Waikiki along Kalakaua Avenue. Jimmy Mawindi is tagging along near the rear. As the men's leaders pass world-famous Waikiki Beach and approach the 10K, you can sense that the competition is about to begin. Rounding the perimeter of Kapiolani Park and heading toward Diamond Head, Jimmy Mawindi is back in stride alongside Barak Hussein. These two friends and fellow countrymen have been here together many times before. Back on Ala Moana Boulevard, Katie McGregor and Albina Ivanova are opening an ever-widening lead over the other challengers. Albina is looking fresh and confident. Last year, Albina maintained a huge lead for most of the race, until she was overtaken in the final mile by Svetlana Zakharova, who went on to win the 2003 Boston and Chicago marathons. Although she's fallen almost 30 seconds behind, Eri Hayakawa is running strong through Waikiki as spectators cheer her on. Alevtina Ivanova and Olga Romanova have dropped a full minute behind the leaders. Katie and Albina are pushing ahead as they exit Waikiki, past 10K, round Kapiolani Park, and race up the slopes of Diamond Head. As runners enter Waikiki, spectators are up early and cheering them on. The hotels along Kalakaua Avenue are decorated for the holidays, creating a postcard experience for these runners. At this point, most runners have settled into a comfortable pace, each knowing their limits and the need to conserve energy for the miles ahead. At Waikiki Beach, the Duke Kahanamoku statue welcomes runners with open arms. Later today, many of these runners will come back here to relax in the sun on the powder white sand of this world-famous beach. On the exposed slopes of Diamond Head, the men's pack encounters stiff blasts of wind, blowing in from the Pacific Ocean at 20 to 25 miles per hour. Almost immediately, the pack tightens up as each man seeks to gain advantage from the other in front. Although the air is cool and the humidity low, these brisk trade winds will make it difficult to set any records today. From Diamond Head, the course turns right on 18th Avenue and then runs along Kahala Avenue en route to the open stretches on Kalanianiole Highway. The gusty headwinds will decrease the pace, adding almost 20 seconds per mile. This loss of time, running into the wind, cannot be made up on the return leg, where a tailwind will only increase the pace by about 10 seconds per mile. To counter the wind's effects and lessen fatigue, the men run in single file. As the women circle Diamond Head, they also run headlong into the stiff trade winds. But without a pack, they will not have the same advantage as the men. Pace setter Katie McGregor has just pulled out after 10 miles, leaving Albina Ivanova to run alone. Further back, Alevtina Ivanova has passed Eri Hayakawa, who has now fallen more than 1 minute behind the leader. Alevtina is gaining steadily on Albina as they run against the wind out on Kalanianiole Highway. Later in the day, this coastal highway will be teeming with runners, coming and going in both directions. At the half marathon, the rabbit Peter Tanui has dropped out of the race. Jimmy Mawindi is pressing ahead, setting the pace, and challenging the others to keep up. Albina Ivanova remains in the lead at the half marathon, where she's now setting the pace for a pack of 6 men. Alevtina Ivanova has gained considerable ground and is only a short distance behind Albina. Eri Hayakawa continues to press both Russians as she battles on her own against the wind. The half marathon at 13.1 miles is a milestone for every runner. Here, the psychological race begins. It's the old cliche, when runners ask themselves if the tank is half full or half empty. It's a time to check your pace and monitor how you're feeling. As the men's leader approaches Hawaii Kai, the pack is down to 5 determined runners. Barak Hussein and Jimmy Mawindi run together along Hawaii Kai Drive, with Philip Tanui, David Mutua, and Dawit Turfa. Here the men are pushing directly into the strongest wind. As the course loops around, however, the wind will turn to their backs. As Albina Ivanova turns onto Hawaii Kai Drive, she continues to set the pace facing into the wind. This effort could be difficult to sustain. Alevtina Ivanova draws closer as the sky begins to glow from the first light of dawn. Near mile 15, Alevtina finally catches up with Albina, and the two Russians converse. As Hawaii Kai Drive loops around and the trade winds swing to their backs, Albina pushes ahead of Alevtina. Russian women have dominated this race in recent years, winning the last 7 Honolulu Marathons. But these leaders know, as the sun begins to rise in the distance, that a new challenger could threaten the dynasty. Although she is nearly 2 minutes behind the Russians, Eri Hayakawa has conserved energy by running a slower pace into the wind. With the wind now at her back, Eri appears fresh and determined. Will she make a move to catch the leaders? As the first light of dawn breaks over the horizon, many runners have already made it out to Hawaii Kai. With the beautiful Ko'olau Mountains as a backdrop, the course loops through this residential neighborhood, situated along man-made lagoons that run deep into the valley. With the wind at their backs, runners press on, knowing that from here they have less than 10 miles to go. As the men's leaders complete the 3-mile loop through Hawaii Kai, the lead pack is diminished to 4. Right away, Jimmy Mawindi is asserting himself as the men begin the return leg along Kalanianiole Highway. Jimmy is looking confident at 30K, although Dawit Turfa of Ethiopia is maintaining his stride. Barak Hussein and Philip Tanui are running several seconds behind. Jimmy Mawindi is pulling further ahead and has run consecutive sub-5-minute miles. From time to time, Jimmy looks back over his shoulder. He appears surprised to see Barak falling so far behind at this point. If Barak doesn't catch up soon, this race will be over. Jimmy Mawindi is firmly in command. He's running well with long and steady strides. His breathing is comfortable and his focus is intense. The others are struggling to keep pace. As Jimmy approaches 22 miles, he has opened a 30-second lead. Except for a police escort, Albina Ivanova is running alone on the Kalanianiole Highway. At 30 kilometers, Albina is almost 30 seconds in front of Alevtina Ivanova and nearly 2 minutes ahead of Eri Hayakawa. Near mile 20, Albina demonstrates a smooth and steady stride. She's fit and running confidently. Still in second place, Alevtina is determined to keep pace. If Albina falters, she will be in an excellent position to win. With thousands of cheering runners still heading out to Hawaii Kai, Albina runs to the final aid station on the highway. A wet sponge helps her keep cool as she approaches mile 21. Near mile 20, most runners experience the wall, that point where pain begins to take over, where legs begin to wobble, feet begin to burn, and fatigue weighs heavy on the mind. Here on the precipice is where conditioning, training, carbo loading, fluid intake, and sheer determination can help even the most exhausted runner fight through the pain and carry on to the finish. Mental strategies can help too. One runner on the verge of quitting said he started running from stoplight to stoplight, achieving one small goal at a time until his rhythm and momentum were restored. He finished. It's all about staying focused on your goal, pushing pain into the periphery where you can run right through it. Running alone down Ke'alaolu Avenue, Jimmy Mawindi has broken away for good. This is his race, and nothing can stop him now. As he turns onto Kahala Avenue, Jimmy's so full of energy, he surges alongside the pace truck. Volunteers applaud the effort as he passes an aid station. With victory assured, Jimmy strides graceful through this affluent Kahala neighborhood. As he begins the final ascent up Diamond Head, Jimmy Mawindi begins to receive a hero's welcome as thousands of runners cheer for the soon-to-be champion. The Honolulu Marathon provides the average runner with a unique and rare opportunity to see world-class athletes in action. The marathon is one of the only sports where you can compete next to the professionals. Buoyed by their cheers, Jimmy appears to be running on air as he reaches the top of the hill. Albina Ivanova is still in the lead as she turns from Kei Alaolu onto Kahala Avenue, but Aloha Ivanova is closing in. The real story, however, is unfolding now, as the once distant Airi Hayakawa is about to pass Aloha and take over second place. Airi has come on strong with astonishing speed, making up nearly 2 minutes over the last 4 miles. This is incredible. Albina appears to be unaware of her pursuer as Airi continues the relentless chase. Unbelievably, Airi Hayakawa, a 22-year-old college student from Japan, has just blown away the top Russians and is now sprinting away up the hill toward Diamond Head. With rank-and-file runners leading the cheers, Airi Hayakawa is on her way to victory. At this point, it looks as if nothing will prevent Airi Hayakawa from becoming the first Japanese runner to win the Honolulu Marathon. One of the premier scenic locations on Oahu, Diamond Head is an extinct volcano. On its flanks, this working lighthouse signals mariners to avoid the dangerous coral reefs below. Although beautiful, Diamond Head is Honolulu's version of Heartbreak Hill. Even for those who have encountered and overcome the wall, this 1-mile ascent from Triangle Park to the lighthouse is a significant challenge. Jimmy Mawindi is running away with the race as he descends Diamond Head. He enters Kapiolani Park and begins a relaxed stride to the finish line. Last year at this point, Jimmy and Barak were locked in a sprinter's duel. Jimmy Mawindi, the 2003 champion, breaks the tape, 2 hours, 12 minutes, 59 seconds to win his third Honolulu Marathon. Barak Hussein finishes in second place with a time of 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 1 second. Philip Tanui finishes third in 2 hours, 16 minutes, 31 seconds. Although she has opened up a considerable gap, Airi Hayakawa is not letting up. She continues her fast pace up and over Diamond Head. Runners are cheering wildly for this young champion as she makes her way toward Kapiolani Park in the finish line. A large crowd is assembled to welcome the new champion as she runs into view along the final stretch of Kalakaua Avenue. Press photographers gather at the finish line to capture this unexpected and exciting moment as Japan's first ever champion breaks the tape, ending 7 years of Russian dominance in Honolulu. Airi Hayakawa is the 2003 Honolulu Marathon champion, finishing the race in a time of 2 hours, 31 minutes, and 51 seconds. Aloha Ivanova has overtaken Albina to finish second in 2 hours, 33 minutes, and 49 seconds. Albina Ivanova finishes third in 2 hours, 34 minutes, and 36 seconds. With the finish line in sight on Kalakaua Avenue, many runners experience a burst of energy as pain gives way to euphoria. This is it. You've made it. 26.2 miles. Congratulations. In its 31 years, the Honolulu Marathon has grown from a small event started by a local running club to become one of the largest marathons in the world. This year, more than 25,000 people entered the race. 22,495 started, and of these, a remarkable 22,161 finished, making the 2003 Honolulu Marathon the world's 6th largest. The finish line continues to bustle with activity throughout the day. Beyond the finish line, each finisher receives a shell lei in the spirit of aloha. Tired runners pass through refreshing showers to cool down. Volunteers provide massages to relieve cramps and soothe sore muscles. Medical doctors and attendants are standing by and ready to help any runner in distress. Many finishers find a place to sit on the grass and recover. Others simply lie down and take a nap. Kapiolani Park becomes a small city as runners continue to flow in from the course throughout the day. With Diamond Head looming in the background, the park is a great place to reunite with friends and family after the race. The bandstand is the center of post-race activities, where local musicians excite the crowd with high-energy performances on stage. The top men's and women's finishers are each honored at the annual award ceremony. The champions are crowned with flower leis and presented with their trophies. The wheelchair winners are also honored. Although Jimmy Mawindi and Eri Hayakawa are the official champions, every finisher is a winner in their own right. Whatever the time, fast or slow, running, jogging, or walking, finishing a marathon is a remarkable achievement worthy of celebration. Congratulations on a great race. We welcome you into the Honolulu Marathon. Finish its family.